and welcome to The One Show with Matt.
And Alex. Well, it's been a big Jubilee year for tonight's guest. She's toured the world, meeting her loyal subjects.
Dazzled in diamonds.
And held court at the Jubilee concert.
I'm spinning around, move out of my way. I know you're feeling me 'cause you like it like this. I'm breaking it down, I'm not the same. I know you're feeling me 'cause you like it like this.
She calls herself the Impossible Princess. It's Kylie! Of course!
It's so lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And the last time we saw you, we were on our bus.
Oh, we were on the bus,
backstage at the
yes.
Jubilee concert.
Yeah.
We talked about it being 25 years in showbiz for you, but the concert must have gone really well because you were back in front of royalty again last week, weren't you?
I was, and what's more than that, I think I made Prince Charles do the locomotion.
He didn't.
He actually did a little bit of a jig.
Was he any
Really?
good? Any rhythm there?
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
think so.
Yeah, that's
It's very
brilliant.
brief.
But it has, I mean, it's been some 20, 50 years for you. I mean, we said at the top there that you've been all
It's
over
been a
the
huge
show.
year. We've done so many different things, celebrated all year.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
months left, I can't believe it. And we've done something special every month.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if like Kylie, you're celebrating 25 years of something, maybe a marriage, a job, or maybe your birthday, then share it with us and we will show as many as we can later on, of course, to
Yes,
Kylie.
anything at all.
Yeah.
Now, after a frantic final few days of campaigning, Barack Obama and Mitt Romney have just a few hours left to convince undecided voters to swing in their favour.
Yeah, and banging the drum alongside them the whole way are two very powerful women, Michelle and Anne.
So who better to look at the real role of the political spouse than Glenys Kinnock, who very nearly ended up in number 10.
In one of the closest US presidential elections ever, two non-politicians have played a vital role.
You know it's true, don't you? It's the moms of this nation, single, married, widowed, who really hold this country together.
At the end of the day, my most important title is still Mom-in-Chief.
Throughout the campaign, the candidates' wives, Anne Romney and Michelle Obama, have been highly visible promoting their man on any TV outlet. The electioneering role of American political wives has always been clear. No TV stunt is too much for the mom-in-chief. It's a world away from my experiences of being a British political leader's wife in the 1980s.
I remember very clearly what it felt like when Neil became leader of the Labour Party. I was very nervous.
Unlike in America, politicians' wives here were rarely seen and even more rarely heard, only wheeled out for the occasional staged photo call. Anne Jenkin became a politician's wife when her husband Bernard was elected in the 90s. She found her new world more than a little old-fashioned.
It interests me what your expectations might have been. Did it come as a surprise, a shock?
I mean, I think I thought I did know, but the reality was quite different. Somebody said to me, what do you see your role as? And as the candidate of the MP's wife. My answer was whatever it took to be a supportive wife, because I knew that was the answer they were looking for.
The next ticket is a salmon ticket.
Every Friday was raffle drawing night at some branch function, and ditto Saturday, and then on a Sunday it would be, you know, civic service.
Yeah. I was always political, so there's no way that I wasn't going to go out on the campaign trail. However, I did understand that I should not look as if I was taking over.
It wasn't that easy. In 1987, the Conservative Party accused me of being the real power behind Neil.
The Labour Party is being led by a woman, but she hasn't been elected to anything. She's the lady that makes the breakfast in a Kinnock household.
In fact, Edwina Currie got it completely wrong. In response, we made what became quite a famous party political broadcast, the first time in the UK a wife was so explicitly used in her husband's campaign.
They assume that one partner is going to dominate the other all the time, which I think is just very immature. I mean, I just don't think it makes sense.
Since then, others have followed our lead. Labour MP Peter Hain's wife, Elizabeth Hayward, shied away from direct involvement in Peter's parliamentary work. but she wasn't quite prepared for how much impact being married to a politician would have on her life running a recruitment agency.
How are you all?
When Peter decided to go for the deputy leadership, I remember being sat down by a friend and advisor of Peter's on his campaign, and it being suggested to me over lunch that I should sell up the company, or at the very least that I should actually give up doing any of the public sector work. Because this was clearly going to become an issue. And I have to admit, it hadn't occurred to me. I did not see why I should be part of that whole process. When there were allegations against Peter for not declaring donations to the campaign, which of course in the end the judge said wasn't his to do anyway, we were actually in the process of doing an investment deal, and the investors walked away because they didn't like the bad publicity about Peter. And that's when I put the business into administration.
With wives being increasingly used in the political marketing of their husbands, it does mean that they are open to attack.
In the United States, the wives are part of this territory, part of the story, and I think it's absolutely unavoidable for them. In this country, that's not the case, and women are still making choices about how involved they get. But frankly, at the end of the day, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
In America, the wives have now done all they can to help their husbands win those crucial votes. Tomorrow, we'll know who will be in the pivotal role of the First Lady for the next 4 years.
Well, Justin Rowlett is here to talk about this a little bit more. Now, obviously, Obama, Romney have gone down every single avenue to get as many votes as they can. But seriously, can their wives make that much of a difference?
Well, they clearly think they can, because they've really integrated them into the campaigns, haven't they? And had them up there saying what great family guys they are. And it's not just, you know, that role of saying, you know, humanising their husbands, if you like. They've also been incredible campaigners. I mean, Kylie, did you realise that Michelle Obama, in the last year alone, 47 rallies she's hosted, 92 fundraising events. And not only that, they have political influence. So, for example, Michelle Obama apparently is really keen that her husband's seen as a transformational president, somebody who changed the country. And if she's not happy with what he's doing, she tells him so.
I bet she does.
But, I mean, it does look a bit fake.
It does.
You'd think they could see through it, like, oh, there's my beautiful wife. I think I'll kiss her on stage.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And then they wheel the children on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how does the role of the First Lady then in America compare with their counterparts over here?
You know, I think Glenys is absolutely right. I think it is different, but I think it is changing. And we've seen that change very recently. In the last election, remember, Sarah Brown was there saying, again, you know, what a great kind of family guy, what a sensitive man Gordon was.
Yeah.
You know, that's so different from how Cherie Blair was, you know, who was really concerned to be seen as an independent woman, had her own career, you know, very, very keen that that would happen. And when she did speak out on politics, I don't even remember, occasionally she spoke on politics and was terribly criticised and had to say, listen, it's not me as a PM's wife, it's me as an independent woman, as a really powerful top QC, as of course she was and is.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Sounds like a tough job.
I think it is incredibly tough, because
thing,
you haven't got a formal role, and yet you've got all these responsibilities and all this attention.
Well, as Glenys said, it's striking the balance, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it does seem interesting, though, even for potential leaders to appear settled to voters, you know, married. And I mean, Ed Miliband, he got married just before.
Yeah, they've been together for years, and he got married a couple of months after he became leader. And, you know, it's very hard to point to anyone. Ted Heath was a Prime Minister who was unmarried, but very hard to point to anyone who isn't married. Alex Salmond, interestingly, First Minister of Scotland, he's not married.
Yeah.
And looking through the records, we could find one, there may be others, but the one that we could find, one American president who wasn't married. Anybody remember him?
Go on.
To be honest, you know, James Buchanan, 1857 to 1861.
Yeah, just a bit before our time, I think, Kylie. Yeah.
What about Julia Gillard then? Does her partner have any profile in Oz?
He does, and I've met him. Yeah, that's complete role reversal. Obviously, he's influential as well.
Yeah.
But I think she's wearing the pants.
Well, exactly what you said.
Well, yeah.
She doesn't need anybody to stand up for her, does she? Have a look at this.
I will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man. I will not. Because if he wants to know what misogyny looks like in modern Australia, he doesn't need a motion in the House of Representatives. He needs a mirror. That's what he needs.
There you are. That's really funny, because beforehand you said you hadn't seen that.
I'd read about that, and I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Feisty woman.
It's a fabulous moment, isn't it?
Very feisty, yeah. And is there anything that we can overhear from the elections that have happened over in the States? Because they've spent an absolute fortune.
They've spent a fortune. I think looking at the American elections, most people would say that's a really good example of how not to do things. The billions, not millions, it's billions of dollars they've spent on the election. The endless rallies, the lack of proper debate, all of that. I think we could look at that, look at our electoral system. I think a lot of people would look at our electoral system and say, you know, thank God it's not like that. So I think that's the key message.
But I mean, the TV debates, you know, that obviously came from America. I think that was really positive.
Yeah, the TV debates are good, but they are quite narrow, you know. And elsewhere the debate is very limited.
Well, our very own Tuffers will be given his unique twist on election night on tomorrow's show after spending the whole night at the American Embassy in his sleeping bag.
That's an image for you, isn't it? Yeah, and you can follow the BBC's coverage on radio and BBC One tonight. But to save you the trouble of a sleepless night, we have got an exclusive preview of the result. Now, this is
quite incredible.
Is it 100% accurate?
This is amazing. Sorry?
Is it 100% accurate, this?
I don't think we can say that for certain, but it certainly is reckoned to be quite a good bellwether of what's going to happen.
OK.
Let's have a look. Here's important. Forget the pundits. This is Sheehan, the bald-headed eagle.
Yeah.
And now look, who's she going to choose? Ooh. We've got Obama on the right, Mitt on the left, voting with her beak, not her claws. Let's see what she does. Look at that fly. Oh! Close one there.
Just as close.
By a claw's width, Obama gets it.
But Romney nearly out.
In the early hours of the morning. And thank you to your very first lady, your wife, for letting you on the sofa, because we know she's the one that wears the trousers. It
was the driving last week, and now this. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Well, over the past 25 years, we just haven't been able to get Kylie's tunes out of our heads. No. Now, One Show viewers certainly haven't, and this is their tribute, Kylie, to you.
You're going to love it.
There he goes.
If you are having your tea, we do apologise for some of the images.
That was some good wiggling.
Yeah. Hot pants on a man.
Oh, thank you, everyone. That was great.
They must have borrowed yours, Matt.
They must have done,
They must have, OK. So your brand new album, Abbey Road Sessions, is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
And I think the best way you can describe it nearly is Kylie Classics for grown-ups. Is that right?
Yeah, you could say that, but I've been really thrilled with the response I've got from, like, super uber social media fans who have loved it. But yeah, it's the pop, aside from the pop song, all the pop production is taken away and replaced with classical instrumentation or just with a piano or guitar. It's really lush and moving, and some of it's quite strong as well.
Yes, and you can play a great game with it, because as soon as you put the album on, you sort of think, right, which one's this? And then suddenly it comes in,
really
and then it's so orchestral, and then
stuff the night, the pub quiz that name that song, isn't it?
I was saying
just when you thought you had all my songs down.
Yeah, no, but how it changes the mood as well, and the way the lyrics suddenly have a whole different meaning.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun reinterpreting them, and some songs like Never Too Late from 80, whatever it was, 87 or 88. 88. I probably never even paid that much attention to the lyrics, and it's the most gut-wrenching, like,
it's
really sad version. Not an entirely sad album.
Put your hand on your heart. I didn't actually realise what it was till the chorus.
I know, there have been tears having said that,
Let's hear just how different these tracks are.
I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your loving is all I think about. All the lovers that have gone before. I should be so lucky in love. be so lucky.
That is a classic example. Could you ever go back to singing it the other way? You know, with I Should Be So Lucky?
I just came back from doing a show, like a 90-minute show in Abu Dhabi, and I was confused enough before with all these different versions and edits of songs, and now I'm going, oh my God, which version of All the Lovers is it? So if I'm, depending on whether it's something like Proms in the Park where we performed these versions, or the pop version, I have to have my thinking hat on.
And amongst all the classics, there is a new track. Well, you have performed it before, but it's called Flower, where you actually bare your soul. And it's a song probably that will resonate with girls like us of a certain age. And what's the story then behind the song?
Well, I wrote it in 2007, and it didn't make that album, which turned out to be a very electronic album. And I'd written the lyrics about whether or not I would be able to have a child, so it's like a love letter to a child, a spirit.
It's a beautiful song.
And it just kind of didn't make it on the album. I performed it on tour because I just needed to get it out of my system, and since then it's been a real fan favourite, and I'm so delighted that it ended up on this
album.
So
hard, isn't it? Because the subject, I bet everybody keeps asking you about.
And I don't like talking about it, and then I released a song about it. But I was asked, or was written a while just recently saying, oh, so you're feeling broody, and I mean, it's from 2007, so obviously it's on my mind, but it's something that it's a delicate balance between how much you want to share with the public and or not.
And are you going to go on tour then with this new style,
With
this new era of Kylie?
I haven't got anything planned, but Proms in the Park was a great experience, and I know it can be done, and it's a really good balance for me to have the big pop spectaculars and then have, I mean, this show is spectacular in a different way, but just stripped back and not flying on things like I normally do.
You need little cosy venues, don't you, with about 30 people.
Listen, if I could snap my fingers and make it happen, I would, because it's a real pleasure to perform them that way.
Well,
all
it
your
is
fans
a brilliant listen.
Crossing their fingers for the door, but it's a brilliant album, isn't it?
It certainly is, yes. And the Abbey Road Sessions is out now. There you go.
Now, on Friday, our 6 fantastic young rickshaw riders will be starting their epic 411-mile journey, Kylie, from Llandudno all the way to London for children in need.
Yes, we will, of course, be there for full support, and we've got a 6 o'clock start on Friday morning, which I can't wait for.
Now, we've already met some of the inspirational youngsters who are taking part in the challenge, and today we meet James, who's had to put his whole life on hold to care for his very poorly mum, brother and sister.
My name's James, I'm 18. Since I was 4 or 5, I became a young carer. I care for 3 members of my family, my brother, my sister and my mum. My brother is autistic, my sister is also autistic with spine problems, and my mum suffered from a brain injury.
I had encephalitis 16 years ago, and it left me with an acquired brain injury. I'm very forgetful, I'm slightly weak down one side. I have no concentration.
That would be right for chips.
I forget when things are in the oven, I forget when to turn things off, I forget what I'm doing with cooking.
James has been an absolute godsend with helping out the family, because I have to go off to work early. Most of the time I'm not back till late. So to organise his 2 siblings and his mum, he's just been an absolute rock.
It's hard to live with someone who's got severe autism. Moods can swing quite quickly. It's very difficult because my brother will get up fairly early. He sort of has about 4 hours sleep. I also help my sister sort of getting up, getting washed. It's hard for her to walk about for very long. I'll also help with her physio. And during school, I wasn't concentrating very well. So I was very tired throughout most of the days. In the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, is Mum okay? Or, you know, is my sister all right?
I think being a young carer has been hard on James because he's missed out. He's missed out on doing the stuff ordinary kids do, getting out and about, bringing friends home. He's not been able to do any of that, which has been an awful shame. And he didn't really have much sense of his own worth. As much as I needed him, I wanted him to go out and just get his confidence and realise how brilliant he was.
Crossroads is a place for young carers to meet up, hang out with a few people, just sort of get us away from everything.
It's given James that little bit of freedom to go out and just be a teenager. They can go out there, they can blow off a bit of steam and just generally be, for want of a better word, normal kids.
I've known James actually since he was 10 years of age, and we have supported him and his family over that decade. And actually it's been wonderful to see that young boy turn into the young man that he is today.
I'm doing the Rickshaw Challenge to raise awareness for Crossroads young carers, as they're sort of overlooked. Teachers don't really know that their students are young carers, so they're treated the same as everybody else when actually they have quite a lot of stuff on their plate, so they struggle. I think the Rickshaw Challenge is definitely going to be one of the toughest things I've done. If there's one thing I'm worried about, it's the hills, as the rickshaw is very heavy.
It gives him the opportunity to give something back, and if you can raise a lot of money for children in need, that would be just absolutely brilliant.
To see him doing something like this is like, yes, James, you can do this, you deserve this. Go and have some fun.
He's a strong member of Team Rickshaw. James, brilliant. Kylie, would you do us a massive favour and tell our viewers how they can text and support?
Okay. To show your support, text TEAM to 70705. Messages will cost £5 plus your standard network charge, and £5 will go to children in need. You must ask the bill payer's permission before you text, and for full terms and conditions, visit bbc.co.uk/Pudsey.
And you can also donate any amount you like by sending a cheque to the Rickshaw Challenge, BBC Children in Need, PO Box 1000, London, W12 7WJ. And please make the cheques payable to BBC Children in Need.
Yeah, to be honest, we don't mind how you send the money. As long as you send the money, so check,
No.
text, the whole lot, yeah.
So we start in Snowdonia National Park, going from Llandudno to Dolgellau.
Yeah, that's pretty hilly.
It's very hilly, Kylie, you wouldn't believe it. Honestly, the terrain is literally like that.
Yeah,
Are they going to do it, Matt?
Well,
Coach
do you know
Matt.
what? We're setting out with, we've got the direction in mind and we're just going to keep going. I mean, we have got a few little fallback plans as well. It's a team of 6. We did have 8 potentials that we narrowed it down from. So, potentially, we have got 2 substitutes that we could bring on board as well.
We'll all be behind you.
We will.
That's good to hear, Kylie. It's good to hear. Yeah.
And if all fails, I mean, if the 8 of them decide it's too much,
Yeah.
what happens then?
We're just going to... Well, I might have to hop on. You might have to hop on.
I'll be on that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Kylie, you might have to hop on.
Oh, yes, I cycle legs for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Well, there we are. OK, well, from Friday, the One Show is going on the road so that you can follow Team Rickshaw live. And, of course, it would be brilliant if you could turn out and support us as we make our way to London.
Yes, on Monday, our whole show will be live from Cardiff. So if you're nearby, please come down to Cardiff Castle to cheer the riders on as they arrive.
Yes, and then on Tuesday, we'll be in Bath, Wednesday, Salisbury, Reading on Thursday, before making our way to London for the big Children in Need special from London on Friday night.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Oh,
Pack your thermals, though, it's going to be cold.
Yeah, OK, now... Speaking of thermals, actually, now some drafty old ruins may not be everybody's idea of a des res.
Nice one. For one group of camera-shy creatures, they're the perfect family home. Here's Miranda.
Britain's fascinating past has left behind a land full of historical ruins. These bygone buildings may no longer be used for their original purpose, but many provide a home to some unusual occupants. This is Mount Grace Priory in North Yorkshire. It was built in 1398 and it's the best preserved Carthusian monastery in the country. But it's not monks that the place is famous for now, or even these stunning ruins. It's something a little bit more elusive: stoats. Since the early days of the monastery, wildlife here has played an important role. There was even a licence to control the rabbit population dating back to 1310. More recently, the stoats here have become quite a tourist attraction, and I want to catch a glimpse for myself. But as they're so quick and nimble, I need to enlist the help of Barbara Owen of English Heritage. The ruins here are just stunning. Why do they love it here, and what is it about the Priory that makes it ideal stoat habitat?
Well, I think the food source is
Lots
key.
of bunnies.
Lots of bunnies.
And where there are rabbits, there should be stoats as well.
Yes.
The link between the stoat and the rabbit is surprising. At almost 10 times their size, the rabbit is the favourite prey of these small, agile hunters. With plenty of prey around, these ruins provide the perfect ambush opportunity for a hungry stoat.
Yeah, the drainage channels are fascinating, aren't they? Because they're everywhere, and it looks quite high tech, but that is a great place for a stoat just to run down.
You see them going into a drain and then you lose sight of them completely, and then sometime later they'll pop up somewhere else.
If the stoats are regularly being seen using these drainage channels to get around the site, then if we put a camera trap like this one down, we may just get a chance of catching a glimpse of one.
With all the kit and crew spread around the monastery, all we can do now is sit patiently and wait. And wait some more. After nearly 2 days of waiting in this beautiful priory, we saw the sum total of 2 squirrels, 1 pheasant, and lots of bunnies. But just as we were about to give up, we finally caught the briefest, most tantalising glimpse of a stoat. They were here all along, just hiding from view in this medieval maze. Those fleeting appearances were enough to entice our cameraman, who came back day after day until he was rewarded with a simply amazing view. For me, the stoat has certainly lived up to its reputation of being elusive. But it's really good to know these long-term residents are still thriving in this lovely spot.
Quirky little things, aren't they? Lovely.
Cute.
And how nice to be able to introduce Kylie to a stoat for the very first time.
stoat, yeah, so cute.
Yeah, they are. They are. And now we would like to just say sorry to Alex and Moira Salmond, who are very much married, despite what Justin said earlier on.
Well, they are probably rowing now after that. So anyway, we hope we make up soon. Now, we talked about you being 25 years in showbiz and celebrating that earlier, and you've got a lovely book out as well called Kylie Fashion, which is a lovely coffee book table, isn't it? Coffee table book even, with all your sort of looks, isn't it, on you know, that you've worn
Yes,
in the
and they're many and varied.
Yes.
Over 25 years.
Now, we really like this one actually. Now, can you explain the story behind this lovely photo here?
That was shot for Australian Vogue, and my hair was just growing back after chemotherapy treatment, and so it was kind of, I was channeling Joan of Arc, trying to be strong in these photo sessions when I probably wasn't feeling that strong, but I think it's beautiful.
I think it is absolutely
It must be quite something for you to look back at, though, personally.
Do you know what? Of all the things I've done this year, that's been the hardest thing, making that book, because I say it's like when if you're moving house and you get to the part where your photo albums are and you get stuck because everything has a memory, and it was hard.
Yeah, sure.
Organising 25 years of photo.
Well, so many people have sent in their pictures of their last 25 years. I celebrated my 1 quarter in 08. A brilliant, brilliant birthday. There we are.
Yes. And Kylie, do you want to do yours?
Yes, this is Bob and Jeanette Crane celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
Brilliant. Congratulations to them. And we will see you tomorrow with Eddie Izzard. Thank you very much, Kylie.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure having you.
Thanks, Kylie. Thank you so much.
Bye.